Senator Mazie Hirono, Democrat from Hawaii, is this little old lady. She's a weird pervert, but you knew that when I said Democrat from Hawaii. Welcome to the Doug TeNapel channel.
As part of my responsibility as a member of this committee, as well as all the other committees on which I sit, I ask the following two initial questions of all nominees who come before any of my committees. So I'll ask you, since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors?
Have you ever? Hey, Senator, that's an inappropriate question. Have you ever? Does she have to give a super detailed answer? You want to record it? And I like her excuse too. This isn't perverted and weird. I asked this of everyone, the same question. Okay, Democrat, Senator Democrat. How did I know she was a Democrat?
Or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No, Senator.
So, oh, dang it. I wanted to hear about the, what a creepy lady. She's like Hawaiian Dr. Ruth. The idea that you would, she asked this of every appointment, implying what? Oddly enough, Loeffler's in front of her, and she asked it of Hegseth and all these other people. All of the senators behind her and reps behind her are more likely to answer yes than anyone that Trump has brought before to us. So really, she should turn around and ask all of her fellow politicians, to which they would never answer because a whole bunch of them are guilty and they have a slush fund that goes to pay for their harassment settlements, our tax dollars.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement relating to this kind of conduct?
No, Senator.
But all of the other people in this room have.
During the pandemic, you opposed Planned Parenthood health centers receiving PPP loans for ideological reasons, even though, like other nonprofits, they were eligible for loans, as later determined by SBA's own Inspector General. Last week, the president fired the IG without proper notice as required by law, and it's clear that President Trump believes he can do whatever he wants.
He's allowed to do anything he wants with his part of the government, and they serve under Department of Justice, so he can these IGs, especially one that was trying to scam money during COVID to get to these Planned Parenthoods. Loeffler's going to bring up that they were not qualified. So nice try, Senator Perverted Hawaiian Democrat.
As the administrator, should you be confirmed, would you commit to implementing SBA programs in a fair and impartial manner?
Senator Hirono, let me first say I hope that we could be able to meet. I requested several meetings. I keep the people of Maui in my prayers. I know that they're still struggling through the disaster that occurred about 18 months ago, and I hope that we can work together. But let me correct, with all due respect, the premise of both premises of your question. I objected to the Planned Parenthood receipt of COVID relief loans because they did not fit the parameters of the program
Loeffler,
because of the affiliation.
You do know that the IG said took a contrary position.
Yeah, the fired IG, you mean. He ain't IG anymore.
So all I'm asking is whether you can be fair and impartial in being the administrator of SBA, a very important position, as you say. There are so many small businesses throughout our country. So just a simple affirmation that you can do so is what I'm asking.
Senator, I will faithfully uphold all of the laws and ethics rules.
Well, the thing is that, as I mentioned with President Trump, the laws that he likes are the ones he likes, and then the ones he doesn't like, he considers them to be illegal, but I will move on.
They're the ones that are known for breaking laws of like selling body parts.
As a senator, you co-sponsored the resolution recognizing Brian Sicknick, the U.S. Capitol Police officer who was brutally attacked during the January 6th insurrection and who later died. As a result?
Not as a result of those attacks. That's a literal lie. Everyone knows it's a lie. I did a 5-second Google. Brian Sicknick, cause of death. Natural causes. Sicknick died of natural causes a day after the January 6th attack, having suffered 2 strokes. Died of natural causes.
Last week, the president issued blanket pardons for the January 6 insurrectionists, including those responsible for attacking Officer Sicknick. Do you agree with the President's decision to pardon these violent offenders? Yes or no?
Yes, Senator, I strongly support President's pardon. These individuals were denied due process, and it's time to get past political persecution in this country. That's what Americans voted for.
Mrs. Loeffler, they were not denied due process because they were tried and found guilty, and some of them even admitted their guilt. So I am disappointed that you agree that these violent, basically criminals, should be pardoned. Then we get to the Lahaina wildfire. In 2023, Lahaina experienced wildfires that devastated the entire community, including schools, homes, businesses, and more. Key to that recovery, their recovery, has been what I've described as the federal family of agencies, which of course includes FEMA and SBA.
Now, to be fair, she forgot that those fires were caused, they say, by old power lines, very similar to California. They couldn't afford to replace or bury their old power lines. The electrical infrastructure of the whole island went up. And so now she's going to go into FEMA on the bailout of the recovery of that whole thing. But it was bad governance that made the fire worse.
Last week, the president proposed eliminating FEMA, and he said, quote, let the states take care of the tornadoes and the hurricanes and all of the other things that happen, end quote. So I have seen the devastation in Lahaina and the role FEMA and SBA played in the recovery. The SBA itself provided hundreds of millions of dollars in loans to help Lahaina recover. It would be a huge mistake to eliminate SBA's role in disaster response and relief and have states fend for themselves. Do you agree with the President's recent comments that states should be left to fend for themselves during and after natural disasters? That's another yes or no question.
Senator, I disagree with the premise. The President strongly supports disaster relief. He was on the ground just last week in North Carolina.
Well, unfortunately,
and California.
he also said
I also
that
mentioned
states-
Hawaii in my opening remarks, that we do support the continued relief there.
False question. Really trying to get her. This is not an honest advise and consent. This is not an honest cross questioning. And there's no way in HELL this Democrat from Hawaii will vote for any of these Trump picks for any reason. She'll use this parade of questioning. This is just a tantrum, guys. This is a mockery of our justice system.
So you support the continuing involvement of the SBA and recovery?
Yeah, and the President's been clear that
Thank you.
individual assistance will not be paused.
I'm glad you do, and that you support the continuing important role of SBA. You know, when you were running for U.S. Senate, time flies.
Yes, the senator's
So,
time
I-
has expired.
I didn't think this thing would ever end. She ran out of time. It's a mercy killing. We've been set free. Thank you guys for hanging with me going through this. I wanted to give you guys an inside scoop on what it's like to be one of Trump's appointments. I'm Doug in exile.